Recording. Hello, and welcome to Archaeology for the Soul. My name is Corina Lunardea, and I'm happy to have you with us today. The purpose of these conversations is to really open discussions about well-being, about being who we are, about our health, and how to overcome any type of emotional distress as anxiety or depression, because we live in a world where, unfortunately, healthcare and health, it's a subject of political discussion. I think it's so important that we take charge over our health, how we live, what we become, and how to best feel good in our bodies and feel fulfilled and happy. So today I have with me here Bernadette Giorgi. She is a leader in fitness and trusted voice in women's health, beauty, and wellness for over 25 years. Bernadette Giorgi is on a mission to redefine what it means to be fit, healthy, and beautiful. The core message of her Just Be method is just be bound to the true you. The mantra empowers women to make healthier choices for balanced and fulfilled living by tapping into the wisdom of their bodies. Her fusion workouts offer a contemporary alternative to classical Pilates by reviving its spiritual aspect to mindfully moving the body in combination with latest fitness techniques while connecting the body, mind, and soul. Welcome, Bernadette, and I'm so happy to have you with us.
Thank you. I am really honored to be here.
I know you've been on a journey for a long, long time.
Yes.
And I know you brought a product out lately in the past year, I would say. And I would like to start by asking you a little bit about your Just Be and method. Tell us about that and what brought you to that.
Well, it's funny how sometimes you just say something, but it can be prophetic later on. So a funny story is I was Just Be Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
And I started feeling like I wasn't just teaching Pilates. I used to have a pastor that would say, your life is your pulpit. So your work is really how you reach people. It's not really your work, but that's like your conduit, or how you, so you would say that that's your pulpit. So it really resonated with that message. So I'm not just Pilates. That's just one way how I communicate my message to people. And funny or not so funny story, someone took the name Just Be Pilates from me and tried to sell it back to me. So I changed it to Just Be Method, but somehow it was very almost like divine intervention that it more described that it wasn't just Pilates. Pilates was one of the physical ways that I use to have women feel good about themselves, because Pilates isn't punishment based. It's not, repetition. It's not hard on the body. So that was very much in alignment of what I wanted, but then there was so much more than that. And so from creating it as a method, I then worked backwards and realized how I was working with women, how I'm not just women, but it was mostly women. I find myself working with women, and then displaced ballerinas or even athletes that are injured. Suddenly they find when they can't use their bodies the way they're normally used to using, all these other things start to come up. When you're physically strong, you can overcome a lot of things, emotionally and spiritually and mentally. And then when that's taken away from you, you kind of have to address other things. So the method, it forced me to go backwards and say, okay, how do I start with people? And you helped me create then to really define it. It was just me being me. But then together, you and I were a team in figuring out that I actually had a definite method, and we decided to call them the 3 Bs. Mm-hmm. And from there, it actually then gave me structure to rely on how I actually work with people. It was very natural and intuitive. Oh, sorry. That's my baby. He's guarding me from the landscapers outside. So anyway, so the 3 Bs really, when people hear them, they get excited, because then it's a guide. It's a way to get started and to dig deeper And it is very easy to start physical because we're physical beings. And it's very easy to reach people physically. And then little by little, taking those steps to dig deeper.
So if you tell us a little bit about the three B's and what they mean to you.
So the 3 B's really represent the steps that you need to take to continue your journey. So, you know, you don't know where you're going unless you have a map. You know, sometimes so we just always, you know, just try this, try that. So for a long time, even on my own physical journey, and I didn't even realize at the time, it was really my own soul and my heart trying to heal. I kept thinking about it as a physical journey. So when we define the 3 B's, it made me realize that these steps then lead to other steps. Mm-hmm. Just like when you're starting a physical journey, you can't start with the advanced, you have to start in the beginning. So the first B is to begin, is to make that decision to grow or to heal, or so people have their own definition of it. We're all healing and growing, and there's pain associated with that. And what's nice about me working in the physical is that it's something everybody can relate to. Mm-hmm. So when I say that we're going to begin this journey, you know, I can always refer back to physical. If you're going to start physical fitness, and let's say you're working on your abs, the abs are going to hurt, but you didn't injure yourself, but there's a little bit of pain associated with that. And that's actually the muscles getting stronger and growing. And so it's a nice metaphor to how people really have to go through their lives. There's a little bit of discomfort, you know, when you're recognizing things that you want to heal from and you want to be stronger. So they're all the beginning steps. It's just, then the next part is to really believe in that journey. And really the first and the second B really belong together. You take that step, and then as soon as you decide to take that step, very closely after that is you have to believe that you're on a journey of healing. You have to believe in the process. And everyone's process is a little different, but without that belief and that feeling that you can get to your goal, whatever it is, whether it's to lose weight or improve your life or get that job that you want or to fall in love, whatever that goal is, you have to believe that it's possible. Mm-hmm. Because without that faith, whatever action you're taking really doesn't really mean anything. It's going to be movement without meaning, regardless if it's a physical movement or emotional, spiritual, mental movement. And then the third B is to become emotionally what you're after way before you become that. So there's many, many, many spiritual teachers that talk about, you know, you need to believe before you see. And so it really is that you know, begin, believe, and you'll become that once you start to embody that. Mm-hmm. So act healthier, act like you're a loving person if you're seeking love, act like you're, you know, if you're an athlete, then eat like one, you know, long before you ever actually feel athletic. And those 3 steps embolden and strengthen you on the journey. And I tell everybody, you never really get there. You know, as a ballerina at the height of my career, and I get hurt at 19. So I got knocked down a couple pegs. You know, I sought, you know, to be a martial artist, got hurt. So we never really get there, but we're always strengthening ourselves and learning and collecting those lessons along the way. So those 3 B's are the foundation of the method.
Awesome. I love it. So you're using the body to overcome emotional challenges.
Yes.
I would say. So I know you have your own story from the beginning when you started to exercise or to use your body as the vehicle. So tell us how is the body a vehicle to overcome these emotional challenges that so many of us have out there? How we can use the body to become educated before medicated?
Yes, I'm such an advocate for that because something deep inside of me, I never wanted to use any kind of medication. I knew I was feeling sad, I was feeling broken, but it didn't occur to me that my body, I could either treat it like, I don't know, a broken down car, or I could treat it like a Ferrari. You know, I had that choice. Mm-hmm. You know, and so once you shift your perception on how you're going to treat yourself, coming from a background, I was very overweight child, but I loved to dance. Mm. So my body I wasn't built like a dancer, but inside, it's like when you see yourself as one way and you look in the mirror, you're like, wait, that's not what I look like. That's not what I see. That was my whole experience. The first 20 some years of my life was that I was trying to beat my body to look like something else. And I had forgotten how good it felt. Like when I was a little girl and I would put on my slip and my dad would have music on in the background and I would just dance. I didn't have in my mind what a dancer should look like. It was about what it felt like to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't, even when I was a professional dancer, it was about beating my body into submission. It was about hunger and pain and all of those things that were negative. But when at my lowest point, something hit me and I was like, but what about dancing? Like there was something freeing and beautiful and fun. And it's a very natural thing. If you see little children, you put on music and it doesn't matter what kind of music, they move their bodies. Like it's a form of expressing joy. But somehow we've gotten caught up in this other thing about just the visual. I mean, I love beautiful things. I love looking at a beautiful body. But the goal shouldn't be beauty. The goal, beauty, and then again, it becomes the eyes of the beholder. What is beauty? So I made this shift one day of, I'm so tired of being in pain or causing my own pain. I just want to feel good. So I literally started going back to remembering all the things I loved in dance, not the things I hate. So I would twirl around. I would do big jumps. I loved to stretch. I loved, port de bras was just like, ta-da type of movement. And I realized, and my heart rate was still going up and I was still getting a sweat. And so I kind of made that connection. That being said, so when someone comes to me, the first thing I ask them is, what do you love to do?
Mm-hmm.
And most people will say they love to dance. And then they always add, I'm not a very good dancer. And I always say, well, it's not a competition. Like, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel good? So whether it's yoga or Pilates, or a lot of my girls I have 3 girls that like to go and they joined a volleyball league. They love the camaraderie and the jumping around, and it's another form of dance, right? And if you look at it that way, movement it's all kind of like dancing, with or without music. Once you make that shift, it kind of tunes you in that everything in your life can feel good. So, because we're physical beings, we're spiritual beings on that physical journey. So what do we rely on? What feels good. And we've been taught to not tune into what feels good. It's all those shoulds and woulds and have tos, as opposed to how we feel. So, so Pilates, I do like to run sometimes and all those things, but I kind of keep it tuned into movement that will feel good for everyone. Because a lot of people hate to run. Yes. A lot of people hate to lift weights and all those things. Some people love it. Yeah. So that's what I always start with. And some people don't, they have to take some time. A lot of people aren't tuned into what makes them feel good, especially women. Yeah. We're conditioned to put our feelings aside on a lot of levels.
We are conditioned to carry burdens, and that's what to so many women feels good, carrying burdens.
Well, we feel like that's our purpose.
Yeah.
And that we're a good girl.
Yeah.
We're putting our feelings aside, our needs aside, and serving others. I mean, there is some wonderful things, if you want to go out and your child's sick and you stay home to be with your child, there's something gratifying knowing that you can do that for your child. Mm-hmm. But then we become caught up in that becomes our value. Only doing that.
Yes. Yeah. And I want to ask you about the product you just came up with, the Bee Bounder.
Yes.
I know from what I've seen that it serves, among other things, people that have joint issues.
Yes.
Arthritis or other joint issues. And please talk to us about the Bee Bounder and the results people have with it and how it started to be.
Yeah, the Bee Bounder was part of my search. It was my daughter was also a dancer, and we were looking for something kind of to bond, and we bought rebounders because we knew we wanted that feeling. You know, kids love to jump on a bed. So we both have that kid in us, and I think that's why we were both dancers, to just play, have fun, move. And it's a fine product, but we couldn't move on it. You know, you just jump up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I tapped back into, it's almost like, you know, kind of referring back to what made you happy as a child is really what's always going to make you happy. And I said to my daughter, wow, I wonder if Pop, my dad, could help us create something. Like, I'm sure we're not the only two people on the planet that need something bigger so that we can jump around and have fun. And as a side note, the other reason why we bought the rebounders was because I could no longer do a lot of those movements. I've had 3 knee surgeries. I need another one. I've been in a car accident. I have herniated discs, so that bothers my hips, my neck. So I was also going through that menopausal, oh no, my body is not 19 anymore. I can't move like that anymore. So all of those kind of came together and back to what I loved, which was big free movement, jumping around, having fun, the graceful movement of ballet. I do use some resistance, but really light. It's really serving to slow you down and to activate certain muscles as opposed to pumping up and feeling like a truck ran over you. And what's interesting is that I listened for the first time in a long time, and I kept pushing, knowing that I was on a path that nobody else could really see yet. But as soon as the B-bounders arrived in my studio and I watched women that were literally fearful, I would watch them shuffle their feet because they didn't want to take big steps for fear of falling, for fear of hurting their knees or hips. And these are big women that physical fitness is a dream, and their size or their physical ailments were holding them back. And to see them get on, because the bar is big, so they can have something to hold on, they feel confident, and the gentle action of it, they're not being jarred, they're not throwing all over, gave them a sense of confidence back.
Mm-hmm.
And an enjoyment of movement, because movement didn't hurt. Now they're going to be a little sore, but I'm talking about really feeling like that punishing movement of some harsher types of exercises. So I have women that are losing weight. I have women that have autoimmune disorders that the bouncing is good for them. Lymphatic systems, excellent, stimulates the feet. I cannot medically say that this is good for children with autism, but I can't even tell you the letters that I'm getting from people that their children will sit on it to do their homework that don't want to sit. And I guess it's that gentle action of the beat bounder just moving on it. The messages follow your heart. I mean, oh, you can't do this, oh, inventing that. Something inside of me from all those experiences up to now led me to develop it. And now it's taking a life of its own. And I just have to kind of follow it. I mean, I would never thought that a woman whose child has severe autism telling me that they put music on and the child's humming to the music and jumping up and down and then calms down.
Wow. Amazing.
You know, yeah, so some amazing, a lot of women with RA, fibromyalgia, lupus, that sometimes walking hurts. So how can they physically be active? But like, again, it's big enough that they can be on this base, and that gentle action is giving them relief, but also a gentle way to strengthen their muscles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really quite, and I have to remind myself that those people are out there, because every time I hit a bump and I want to give up,
Wow.
I think, wow, like other people have been blessed, you know? So it's been quite a ride.
Quite a ride. So I know you also opened your studio about a year ago. Tell us where you are located. Maybe some people are in the area.
Yeah, so I'm in South Jersey. I'm right outside of Philadelphia. So I'm 20 minutes outside of Philadelphia and a little under an hour from Atlantic City, to kind of give you an idea where I am on the East Coast. And even you know, opening my studio and then the B-Bounder coming to market was such an amazing, I thought, oh, how am I going to juggle both? But I got to see my students, my dear girls, experience the bee bounder in my space, you know? So it's interesting. You can put your goals out there, but they can really come to fruition and come to light in a way way more wonderful than you can ever imagine. So yeah, the studio's been amazing. We have bee bounder classes, Pilates, yoga. I teach a lot of reformer classes, which is the Pilates machines. So I would say that we're a Pilates studio that has all the extras. Mm-hmm. And that's where I love that I went from Just Be Pilates to Just Be Method, that I get to encompass all of those things under one roof. So it's been pretty amazing.
And I know we're going to come up with other programs for studio owners.
Yes, I have a program for studio owners, and it's made me, again, very aware as a businesswoman. You know, you hear other business gurus talk about systems, and I'm just a natural, and I'm a natural hard worker, and I naturally love people, and I'm a natural communicator. But then I thought, well, how am I going to how might someone else that might not be as natural doing that have bee bounder in their studio? So I'm actually now in the process, again, stepping backwards, and helping creating these systems. So that I'm not just selling the bee bounder to a studio owner. I'm empowering her to see how I did it. That there's a system in place, how I go out onto Facebook, how I introduce bee bounder to people with any special needs after they've gotten the okay from their doctor. So that they're not just buying another piece of equipment that might collect dust, that there's a message behind it, you know, to be empowered, to be better, to find that inner beauty. It's not just about jumping up and down. So yeah. And then that's going to lead to then online classes, which I'm really happy that you encouraged me to do that. And I'm seeing that on Facebook. I have a private group on Facebook for the girls that purchase Bee Bounder. And I'm seeing how, you know, that group dynamic helps, because now they're encouraging each other. It's not just me, you know, oh, I was there, you know, just do it for 5 minutes. You'll see next week it'll be 10. And I was like, oh, wow, they get it. You know, we're all in this together. They're all doing it together. So
it's amazing how it takes a life of its own, right?
Yeah. All you need is that right energy.
Yeah. And you create the community. You have the community, and it takes a life of its own. You have ambassadors that help promote the product and the message you have out there.
Yes. Well, you know, and it's interesting that you say that, because when I sent a survey out recently to the people in the group, I thought they found me from QVC, but they went to QVC because they found me on Facebook.
So social media,
to me, that's everything, because then that means that they already knew what my message was.
Yes.
You know, and that the Bee Bounder was a tool for them to get there. It wasn't about, of course, I need to sell Bee Bounders, but that's the tool that we're using for all these other wonderful things that are happening to them.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you about, you know, I talk about the opportunity to re-enter to have the courage to re-enter our story and excavate what matters, right? From your perspective, I know you use the body as a vehicle for that. And if I say to you, we re-enter our story, we excavate what matters. Use this metaphor a little bit and walk us through what matters to find that place of inner beauty. Where do we enter in our story, in our body story? I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
I know the emotional story. I'm good at that. I'm not so versed into entering the body story. So if you take this metaphor, what comes to you?
It's very interesting, because I think that word excavating is so powerful, even for the physical, because the more I work with women, someone said to me, are you sorry that you're 54 years old, that maybe you should have done this when you were in your 40s? There's a wisdom in your 50s that you don't have, that when you're younger, it's there somewhere, it's just not as developed. Now I feel like a grown-up. And I say that to you because at 54, looking at women coming to me in their 30s and 40s, and some of them even in their late 20s, they have this dissatisfaction with themselves, and it starts with their bodies. It starts with the dissatisfaction of what they look like in the mirror. And I could cry telling you this because that was me. I didn't know I was fat. I didn't know that I wasn't built like a dancer. My dad put the music on and I danced until I went to the dance school and I heard them say, oh, look at her. She'll never be anything. They didn't even just say a dancer. The woman said, she'll never be anything.
Wow.
I was 5. So words dig so deep into your muscles, into your body, into your heart, and then you become that. That's why part of the B's is you have to believe. You have to take that step and you have to believe, because we all believe the lie. Yeah. My self-worth as who knows what I could have been if my mom said, like, punch that lady in the mouth for talking to her about her daughter like that. Who knows? I have a whole other side. I totally believe in what Tony Robbins says about, I bless that now. I have that wisdom of, I wouldn't be as strong as I am had I not had that negative experience, but it took 50 years to get there. Women have to understand that they are not what they see in the mirror, right? What they see in the mirror, they created because they don't like what they see, you know? So I noticed that when the women come to me and they're very overweight, that's like their padding, their protection from the world. You don't think I'm worth it, so I'm not. You don't think I'm beautiful, so I'm not. And it becomes this really painful thing for me to watch, because as I get to know, I used to have a very bad prejudice against overweight people. I did. Because I thought, well, I starved myself and did all these things to be thin. Why can't they? And I realized how dishonorable that is to the body, you know? And I see these women that are creative and smart and take care of their families, but then they walk in like this and they have their head down and they're intimidated to come into a studio, and so their whole body becomes who they think they are, you know? And so if they dig down and see, they have to shed that. They have to excavate that, take away those layers, you know, and part of that's that emotional eating thing. You know, we talk about medication. A lot of women use food as their drug. There's a lot of shame associated with that. You can see, if you start to look today, if you're in your car, you'll see women eating in their cars in shame. Women pulling up to drive-throughs. They're hiding. They're thinking that they deserve to eat, that they're patting on this, you know, this coat of, or this armor to keep the world out. You know, they think they're protecting themselves. And that starts with the whole thing about being worthy, about being beautiful. What's the definition of beauty? What's the definition of health? I don't advocate. There's a big movement out there now about you can be healthy at any size. No, you can be healthy here at any size. But once you truly get healthy, you won't use a cheeseburger for comfort, right? You won't use ice cream. Now, they're not bad. When are you eating them? Are you eating them when you're sad? Or are you eating them because you're at a cookout and you want a cheeseburger? You know, there's a different shift.
The intention.
And for women, that is like a dirty little secret. It's food. Food is their drug. Or there's the opposite, where women withhold themselves from food, thinking that that's what's also going to make them beautiful. So both of them, women are in pain. So to excavate would be to like shed those layers and to see that they don't need that padding. They don't need that barrier around them, right? They already have it inside. And my girls have taught me that. You know, I kind of knew it for myself, but I didn't realize it was a collective. It was the women, you know, so there's this movement now that, you know, body acceptance and I'm enough and this and that. No, being 100 pounds overweight sucks. It's not healthy for your heart. It's not healthy for your joints. It's not fun to get dressed. You can't walk long distances, let's say in a park with your children. It's terrible. But if you recognize that and love yourself anyway, then you'll start to make changes that are good for you. You're not doing it because you want to be skinny. You'll start to lose weight because it's healthier, you know? So those, you have to dig down for that. And part of the story though is you have to admit it. you know, I saw one of your posts where you say that, you know, you have to bring that story to light. And for a long time, I hid that I had a problem. I hid that I had an very severe eating disorder. I hid that, you know, my hair was falling out. I think that's why I fell the day I fell and tore my ACLs, because I was too weak to dance. I had to decide, am I going to be thin that day or am I going to be strong? That's a horrible way to live, you know? So our stories can really empower us and show us that, okay, you went through that and there's a reason for it, because now you have that muscle, you know, those layers have been removed.
Yeah, I love it how you tell the story of the body. You help us undo the myth of the body. That's what, for me, from a poet perspective, you undo that myth of the body, the story of our bodies, and how our cells actually retain the memories, right? And it's not only important to work with our emotions, but actually this body retains memory. In our cells, we retain the memories of our experiences.
We've all experienced a skinny girl saying, I can eat what I want. And she does.
Yeah.
Why? Because her mind is the captain of that ship.
Yeah.
Right? And you see families, thin families, and they don't eat healthy and they don't exercise. So it's here. That's why I say that shift is here first. And then we see the opposite. We see families that they think they're all overweight because, well, my mom's overweight. Well, that's that memory of that DNA. We've all programmed ourselves to be that way. But if you start to understand that your body then also can be your guide to how you feel, and you're feeling your way through life, your body's actually serving what you're thinking. You know, so if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're going to be right too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have the discussion with you today and be enlightened. I'm not so much into exercise, but I love dancing. When I go dancing salsa, that's when I'm completely free. I don't remember any problems, any issues that I have. I'm just there.
And that becomes so for you to understand that why the yoga craze, that's your yoga.
Yes.
To unite. So in that moment when you're doing your little salsa, you're uniting your soul, heart, your mind, and you forgot what time it is.
That's my meditation. I'm present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so beautiful. It gave me chills. It's so beautiful.
I love it. I would love to be more into exercising.
You already are. If you went salsa a couple of days a week, and
I just love it. That's when I can get lost in that. I'm in my zone when I do that.
Yeah, and the same when you see a child, they don't know that they're not good at dancing, right? Or so what is the most fun thing to do when you're at a wedding? Everybody just gets up. They don't care.
You just dance.
Yeah. So in every culture, we've forgotten that. We've really
definitely creates communities. Body movement, exercise, dancing, it brings people together, and we need communities.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, so, and that feeling when everyone's having fun together.
Yes.
And there's no judgment. It's just the music, and music has a vibration, right? So there's that energy, and you can feel it. You can feel it, and that's what I ask people to connect to, and that's everything.
Connecting to that joy, to that playful movement as a child.
Yeah.
It seems to be for you the just be core. Just be that child. Be that free human being that you can.
Right. Just be you. Just be.
I so love it. So before we go, tell us where people can find you.
So a couple places, BernadetteGiorgi.com. That's my name. And then also BeBounder.com will also take you to Bernadette Giorgi. And I'm all over Facebook and Instagram with the same name. So, and I've really enjoyed my presence online. I love connecting with women. I think that used properly, the internet we wouldn't be able to be talking today. Like, the internet is an amazing tool.
Amazing. Yes. And it's definitely a way for us to connect. I met you through this amazing internet.
Yes.
I would have never known you probably without this tool.
I know. I mean, it's just, it can connect souls in a way that would have never been possible before.
Absolutely. We don't have to stay alone. We don't have to be secluded. we definitely can have communities and stick with each other.
Yes. Yes. So, and and the Bee Bounder, it's only being sold right now at QVC.com, or when I'm on TV, I'm going to be on again July 5th. It's a 2-hour show, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on the East Coast. So I don't know, anybody watching, but they'd always can go to the website. And I'm just really proud to be able to bring something else to bring joy and movement to people, to women.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful for this discussion today, for this conversation. I am deeply, deeply grateful, and I love talking to you and learning from you. And thank you so much for enlightening us today with how to use the body as a vehicle to find our inner core, our place of inner peace.
Thank you. It was my honor.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.